I know it's hella blurry, but look at that! My mom got me a rainbow neon light, and it's the gayest thing in this room. Well, apart from me. Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Skye, and today I'm doing an updated Shop My Stash rotation video. So a couple of weeks ago, I did my first ever Shop My Stash video, and y'all seem to really like it, and I really enjoyed doing it. So today I'm gonna give you a wrap up of my thoughts of the products that I used in the last 2 weeks, and then we'll go ahead and pick the next rotation. So yeah, let's do the first wrap up. The first product we're going to be talking about is the Becca Sunlit Bronzer in Barley Sands. I love this bronzer so much, and literally right after I posted my video, I learned that Becca is shutting down. If you see this on sale, go ahead and buy it because it's one of my favorite bronzers I've ever tried. I'm wearing this today and I really love the formula. Very smooth, it's glowy but not shiny. Love it. I might keep this in for this next rotation because I've really missed using this bronzer and I've neglected it for a while. Now for blush, this rotation I picked the CoverFX Blush Duo in Soft Peach. My friend Katie got this for me for my birthday, and man, I've been loving using this blush. I think we can tell that I've gone quite ham on the glowy side because I love a good glow. This formula is so good, really beautiful, pigmented. It works with pretty much every single look. I'm wearing a little bit of it today mixed with another blush because I did quite a cool toned look today. But I really enjoyed using this. I really like the formula and I want to keep it in for another rotation, but I have a couple of new blushes to test out as well, so it's gonna kill me to put this away, but we're gonna have to put it away. Actually, while I'm here, I can just put everything in my drawer. No, the CoverFX is too thick. That's actually disrespectful. Now for highlighter, I picked 2 products. The first is the Odin's Eye Alva 2 highlighter palette. I use this almost every single time I did my makeup in the past couple of weeks, apart from when I use this highlighter, but I really like the formula of this one. This shade Sylphs, even though it's a little bit drier, you do need to use a setting spray with it in order for it to like melt in with your skin. It's a really beautiful subtle pink highlighter. I love it. I mainly use this palette for these 2 shades down here because I love them. I didn't use Salamander that much this rotation, even though it's my favorite of the bunch in here. It's a really good quality highlighter palette, but I will be putting it away. And the other highlighter I chose is the Kaleidos Prophecy highlighter. It paired really nicely with those colourful looks because the colourful like eyeshadow kind of worked with the multichromeness of the highlighter. It's a fantastic highlight. I might keep this in for this rotation. I'm not too sure though. Alright, we're moving on to the eyeshadow picks this round. The first one I picked out was the Kaleidos Astro Pink palette. Now I did use this a handful of times. I'm actually wearing this today, and funnily enough I mainly reached into this palette for these 3 shades right here, the neutrals. Who am I? And even though I didn't take any pictures of my looks with this palette, I really did like the looks that I did. I did more like natural type looks because recently I've just been so stressed that all I can do is natural makeup, which is shocking, I know. It is a really solid palette, but right now I'm not really craving berries and blues. I'm actually craving greens, but we'll get to that. Another Kaleidos palette. This is the Club Nebula. I love this one, y'all. I've already done a bunch of videos with this palette, but the formula is fantastic. A lot of the looks that I did recently, I reached for the bottom row because I've been really craving peachy tones. And I love the greens in here. I mainly use the top and the bottom row, if I'm gonna be honest. But several times I just put Samus in the crease and deepened it up with Red Giant and put a fun shimmer on my lid, and that was my look. So easy, so effortless. I love this palette so much. It's gonna hurt my heart to put it back in the drawer, but I need to reach for some other things because I have used this so much. If you want to know my full thoughts on the palette, I've done many videos on it, but I love Club Nebula. It is the best palette Kaleidos has ever done. One that I'm quite surprised that I really liked a lot is the Clarisyke Sykes box. Is it Sykes box or Psyche's box? I don't know. And this was the perfect palette to pair with my Glaminatrix singles because this is all matte. My singles were all metallic. It was a perfect pairing. Every look that I did with this palette I really enjoyed. Clarisyke's mattes are very buildable. They're not super pigmented right off the bat, but you can build them up and it helps make a seamless blend, I find. I find if a shadow is far too pigmented, you can't really get a nice like soft blend out of it, which I do love a soft blend. I've mentioned it before, but this shade right here, Baby Jane, is not the best, I find. It's not that pigmented, it kind of blends in with my skin tone. Not my favorite pastel pink. I have other pastel pinks that work better, but I've used this palette to death. I love playing with this one, so I am happy to put this away because I feel satisfied with the amount of use that I had from it. And since we're talking about the Glaminatrix singles, let's talk about them again. These shadows are absolutely magnificent. They're not super sparkly like the Divina and the Bernovich and the Glam Shop shadows, but they are nicely metallic and they work beautifully with a finger or a dense brush or a wet brush. I especially love the shade Hopping right here. It's a beautiful minty green, and I love minty greens. That green is such an underrated eyeshadow color. It really is. But I use the shit out of Hopping. I love the pinks as well. The yellow chick, oh, it's such a good metallic pastel yellow. I use these in a bunch of looks like I mentioned earlier with the Clarisyke palette, and I did use these on their own to make a beautiful metallic like graphic liner with them. These were a lot of fun to play with, so I'm a little bit sad to put them away, but it must be done, otherwise I will literally use nothing else. Oh, I forgot to mention concealer, the Glossier Stretch Concealer right here. It looks a little bit worse for wear because I'm trying to finish this. I don't have much left of this concealer, but I'm hoping to get this done very soon, so I will be keeping it in the next rotation. I think I'll be keeping it in my rotations until I finish this. Anyways, moving back to eyeshadow, the Copacetic Lunar Quad. I didn't use this as much as I thought I would, I'm gonna be honest. I am using this shade on top of the metallic that I'm wearing on my lid today, and these work really nicely when you pat them over your lid, like over top of a metallic shadow. I find that if I use this on its own, and with a glitter glue, it just looks a little bit junky, so I still need to play around with this a little bit more. I think I will be keeping it in this rotation though, because I think it will work really nicely with some of the looks that I have planned. And finally, the other singles I wanted to mention, I'll explain why this palette's a little bit empty. But I mainly wanted to reach for this palette for my Bernovich and Glam Shop singles, which are normally all right here, but like I said, you'll see what's going on in a bit. Now, I did use my Glam Shop singles quite a lot, but because I was using the Glaminatrix ones, they weren't getting as much use as I thought they would. Since this was my first ever Shop My Stash, I did want to make sure that I had enough variety, but I think I had a bit too much variety. Anyways, I've talked your ear off. Let's move on into the products that I'm going to be picking for this next rotation. Alright, so we're at my makeup drawers. Let's start off with picking the base. Now this drawer is a little bit of a mess, but we'll talk about that. So as usual, I'm not going to be picking my primer and foundation. I will be keeping the Glossier Stretch Concealer because I do want to finish this up, so I want to keep this in the rotation, but I'm not going to choose primer and foundation because, I mean, I have one primer. Let's move on to bronzer and blush, and maybe a little bit of highlight too. So I think for bronzer, I'm still going to keep my Becca Barley Sands because I really love this and I want to keep using it. Now for blush, the first thing I want to pull in is this one right here. This is the Nabla Skin Glazing in the shade Truth. My mum got this for me for my birthday, and I mean, I really want to pull this one in this rotation because, I mean, look at how stunning it is. It's a beautiful, like, peachy, glowy blush, so we're definitely bringing this one in. And the next blush that I want to pick is this one that I got today. This is from my friend Hattie Pans on Instagram. This is the Ingrid Cosmetics blush in Carrot Cool. I believe this is a Polish brand. This is one of Hattie's favorite blushes, and I always see it in her flat lays, and I mean, look at how stunning it is. It's so silky. I haven't used this on my face because I literally got it today, but it's really like, it's really blendable. It's a beautiful peach. And I think this would pair really nicely with this blush because this one's glowy, this one's matte. So these are going to be my blush picks for the next rotation. And speaking of Hattie, I'm also going to be picking this palette right here. This is the Essence Choose Your Glow highlighter palette. She also got this for me for my birthday. This almost looks like an hourglass highlighting palette, and I've never used Essence highlighters before. I don't think I've ever used Essence before, actually. I don't think I've ever used them. But this looks so pretty and I really want to try this out, so I think this is going to be my highlighter pick for the next couple of weeks. I might pull in another one because I really want to pull in a fun coloured one as well because I cannot help myself. But I think that's going to be it for this drawer. The next drawer right here houses more highlighters and my eye pencils and all that stuff, pigments and all that. Like I mentioned in the last rotation, I'm not going to be picking eyeliners because I like to pick liners to complement a makeup look. However, highlighter wise, I do want to pick in a colourful one because, I mean, I can't help myself, I just need to. And I'm thinking choosing Kaleidos Laser Glazer right here. Yes, the lid broke off, but if anything, I prefer it. This is discontinued now, but it's the prettiest green highlighter, and I'm really thinking about doing some green makeup looks recently, so this will complement nicely. I think that's going to be it for this drawer. Lip products we're gonna pick out at the end, and I won't forget this time, otherwise I will be very angry. So this drawer is a mess. This is just like all the stuff that I picked out in the previous rotation that I need to actually organize, so just pretend you didn't see that. Down here we have my palette drawer. This is a mess. I am exposing myself. Instead of choosing palettes and then choosing singles, I thought off camera I would curate my own singles palette that I would use to accompany the pre-made palettes. So let me show you what I've made. This is the singles palette that I've made for this rotation because I really want to use purples and greens. I've really been craving that color combo lately, especially greens, because I love greens a lot and I haven't worn them in a hot minute. So these are the singles that I used. These two are from Divina. These rectangular pans are Cleona, this is Lethal, and the rest of the circle pans are Glam Shot. And I was thinking, first of all, I want to pull out my Juvia's Place Tribe palette, if I can get it out. I haven't used my Tribe palette in such a long time, and I love this palette so much. I think it's discontinued, I'm not too sure. They brought it back in stock recently, but I don't know if it's still available. And this palette's incredible. I haven't used it in such a long time, so I thought this could go nicely together. And I've seen a lot of my friends recently use this, so that's kind of inspired me to pull this out again. And along with that, I want to take this palette. This is the Black Moon Urban Myth palette right here. I bought this in January and I've only used it once. Don't judge. I'm not normally the type of person that buys makeup and just doesn't use it, because this arrived right around the time when I got a lot of different palettes, and this just didn't get enough love for me, but I love this color scheme. And even though we're heading into spring right now, again, the greens in here is what I really want to use. And the purples and blues would work really nicely with those singles that I chose. I will be doing a 3 Looks 1 palette plus review on this palette very, very soon. So I want to use it to get my full thoughts on it because it's such a pretty palette. I don't want to pick out too many palettes because I know that I will get overwhelmed like I did last time. However, I think because it is spring, I do want to bring in some pastels because my 2 palette options are quite grungy and I don't really want something super grungy all the time, so I'm thinking either bringing out my Creepy Cute palette, because these pastels are beautiful and they would pair quite nicely with the shades that I have. I think actually I'll whip out Creepy Cute. I haven't used this in a while. The other option I was thinking about was the Odin's Eye Alva 2 right here, but this is my favorite palette, y'all know this, and I need to like use other things. Also, I do have 1 palette on the way to me, so if that arrives in the next couple of weeks, I will throw it in this rotation. If not, well, they'll just go in next time. But yeah, those are palettes done. I am very happy with this selection. I think this gives me a good amount of variety and the greens that I really want to use. Now let's move on to lip products finally. Oh my god, this drawer is a mess. Now what we're not gonna do is judge my drawer. My lip drawer has always been a mess. Like, no matter how I organize it, it just will not work. Like, just don't talk about it. So I'm not too sure what I want to reach for, because again, I normally use lipstick to complement an eyeshadow look. However, I really want to use this one right here. This is Cider from Black Moon, and I think this would look really nice with the green looks that I have planned. And I think I'm gonna whip out a neutral lipstick as well. This is the Odin's Eye Cream Lipstick in Love Jasmine. I've used Light Peach, the velvet one, quite a lot, so I think I want to give Love Jasmine a bit more love. Now with the lip product options, I'm not going to limit myself to only use the options that I picked, because obviously if a look calls for a different lipstick, I'm just going to use a different lipstick. I'm not going to force myself to use the ones that I chose in my rotation. However, I think 1 liquid lipstick, 1 bullet lipstick, and a gloss, I think that's a good selection. And gloss-wise, I did recently get a couple of new glosses from Hattie. I'm actually wearing this one in the intro. This is the Essence Shine 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 gloss, and this is in the shade Deep Red Love. And then this one, the purpley iridescent one, is called Watch Me Do, number 15. And I think I'll throw these 2 into the rotation as well. I know I said I'd choose 1 of each lip category, but I want to throw in these 2. Because they're new, I want to use them. And I think for lips, that's all I'm gonna pick this time. Hello, it's Editing Skye. Bless Snapchat for making me look a lot more nicer than I do. But I forgot to mention that I did actually also include this lipstick from Lethal. This is Quest, because I love using this lipstick whenever I do green looks, and I forgot to mention it in the rotation because I'm smart. Yay. We're gonna do the intro standing up because I'm not gonna put my camera on my other tripod. I'm lazy, I'm gonna be honest. But that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing the products that I picked for this rotation. I will check back in a couple of weeks to let you know how I've been going. If you'd like to see more makeup content from me, then follow me on my Instagram. It's beautyybyskye right here. I post all of my looks there, thoughts on makeup, all that good stuff. So if you want an extension of this YouTube channel, then follow me on my Instagram. It's the place to be. I swear my outros are different every single video because I'm just trying to play around with what I like. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you here. And as always, stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!